In this podcast, we touch on the dirty job topic of toilets and the difference between dripping and leaking and how often that is misunderstood and why it matters. We're also going to talk some quick tips to save you money, time, and resources on major maintenance issues by being proactive and getting ahead of the problem before they have a chance to present themselves. Stay tuned. All right, we're here with the number one maintenance issue that is reported, and this comes to you from property managers all over the United States of America, and that is reports of a toilet backup. Am I right or am I wrong?
No, you're right. Yep, you're absolutely right. Toilet backups are definitely the number one maintenance issue, and there are some great ways to prevent spending the time to send your maintenance guys out there. And definitely one of the great things that I took away from one of the property management companies that I was with was placing a plunger next to the toilet before somebody moves in. You can go ahead and put a ribbon on there, slap a nice card on there saying welcome in, so the people know that this is actually part of their move-in gift. And that way they can take the initiative to go ahead and try and break up whatever's clogging up that toilet without having to send out a maintenance person. Now, obviously, we know that some things are bigger than just a plunger fix, but this is definitely a great way to start with preventing an even more expensive outing for your maintenance guys or even a potential auger situation.
It's also a nice and subtle way of telling your tenant that you expect them to handle that problem first before calling you. And a lot of big property management companies, that's their big move-in gift. It's kind of become the number one gift for move-ins is a plunger and a roll of toilet paper dropped on the plunger with a ribbon and a nice note. So make sure you do that, and I guarantee you will cut down on a lot of maintenance requests when it comes to toilet issues. Second biggest thing, dripping or leaking. What's the difference and why does it matter? If you've been in property management for any amount of time, you'll know that a lot of times reports will come to you in the form of a maintenance request indicating that it's leaking, it won't stop, it's not going to stop, I need you to send somebody out right away. When really, when you start digging into it and you're like, okay, what's leaking? Calm down, what's leaking? What is it? Where is it? What's happening? You find out that it's just the faucet is dripping, or the kitchen faucet is dripping. It won't shut off all the way. And that's the difference between leaking and dripping. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't understand the difference, and they panic because they know that the water should be stopping, but it's not. And even if it's just a light drip, some people tend to overreact. I used to get calls like that a lot. Especially if you're managing a little bit older of a property and you tend to have faucets and tubs that might have that type of issue more often. And it's generally a simple fix, but it's definitely not an emergency. And so it's important that when you get requests like that you ask questions to get more information from the tenant if it's not specific, if they haven't attached a photo. But that's what's cool about TenantCloud's maintenance request system is your tenant can actually attach a 15-second short video right from the app, or they can even attach a photo, and so they can explain exactly what's going on. And so that system actually helps alleviate a lot of those issues, those false reports of emergencies, when in fact it's just a typical maintenance issue that can be addressed the next day. You don't have to go out there at 9 o'clock or pay somebody else to go out there to do it. So, and the last one here, let Taylor jump in here with this one. Big deal and huge tip we have for you for preventative maintenance.
Yeah, sinks and tub backups. It happens all the time. It happens everywhere, and it's easily prevented. One of the great things that you can do is provide stoppers, provide those little catchers that you put in sinks, the hair catchers that you can provide to put over the drain stops in showers and in tubs. Doing those small little things for your tenants and providing those things for your tenants will actually prevent a lot of trips out there, a lot of potential headaches and costs to you as the property manager or landlord. Just doing those small little things. Amazon probably has them for like $3 or something like that for a pack of 20.
I was just gonna ask you, how much does it cost to get a hair catcher?
I'm sure. I know I bought one for myself, and I think it was like $2 or something like that at HEB. So it's really inexpensive, and I would much rather pay $2 for something that could potentially save me hundreds of dollars from calling out a plumber, calling out someone with an auger, doing cleanup, all that kind of big mess. Definitely take the preventative actions and just pay a little bit of money, get some stoppers, and make sure that your tenants aren't flushing anything down the drain or clogging it up with hair or anything like that.
And if the clog is really far down the drain and you have to use a really long auger, you have to usually call somebody out, because that usually requires a longer auger, and those usually require a little bit more power and drive behind them. And usually most maintenance teams don't carry around augers that size. If you do, more power to you. But how much would you say a AAA or something auger, or any auger company coming out to do one of those big augers? Like $200-$300 for a visit?
Yeah, and that's
it can get expensive.
Yeah, it can definitely get expensive, because if it's
especially after hours,
or even if it's farther down there and their auger doesn't make it all the way, sometimes they'll have to actually cut a hole in the wall. They'll have to cut a hole in the pipe, and then you're looking at
such a pain.
More money. So
those are some very important tips. Those are the 3 top most common plumbing issues that get reported from tenants. And those are some very simple ways to get ahead of the problem before it even has a chance to develop. So just to recap, when your tenants move in or before they move in, give them a plumber. It'll cost you $10.
A plunger, not a
plunger.
Plumber.
A what?
You said a plumber.
A plumber.
Don't give them a plumber. That's more expensive. We're trying to avoid them.
Give them a plunger. Put it in the bathroom. Put a nice ribbon with a nice note on it. A welcome gift. That's number 1. Number 2, to recap, dripping faucets. Help your tenant help you understand what the issue actually is and determine whether it's an emergency or not, whether it's going to cause mold issues or not, and so on and so forth. Remember, they can attach a photo or a video if they're using the TenantCloud mobile app. And number 3, sink or tub stoppers or hair catchers. You can literally get them for pennies on the dollar from sites like Amazon or eBay or Walmart or pretty much anywhere. And it will end up saving you so much money in the long run. In fact, show your tenants how to use them so that when the hair catcher gets all clogged up, they know how to clean it and do it themselves. And that'll save you even more time and more money and more resources. Stay tuned for next time. We're going to come back every couple weeks with these short podcasts with some powerful tips on how to continue managing your rental properties and saving yourself money, making more money, and spending less time managing and more time relaxing and hanging out and doing the things that you love. Thanks for listening. We're out.
Bye.